What's going on, YouTube? This is the Ultimate 10 channel. Today, look at me, man. I look a mess. Just got off work. Today is April 2nd, 2024. Time is 4:06. Just got off. I don't look like it, but I just got off. Look at me, man. I look a mess. Hair looks a little decent. But anyway, I just wanted to jump on here real quick because I wanted to talk about something. And my journey of trying to be a YouTuber. And the reason why I want to be a YouTuber or get into YouTube is because, like I said, it's currently 4 o'clock in the morning, April 2nd, and my channel is called The Ultimate 10, where I just want to review or, post videos on the best top 10 or the best top 5, whatever. But the reason why I want to do that, like I said, I just want to quit. I want to quit my 9 to 5. And before I decided to be a YouTuber, I actually was, I guess you could kind of say I still am. No, we can kind of say, I guess we can say no. I was a comedian. Do I have that comedy bug? Nah, not really. It don't burn inside me like it used to. It don't burn inside me like it used to. But let me go ahead and tell you what happened. How I got started doing comedy. Because I loved it, So, like, I started... Well, I was in middle school. Class clown. So I was a class clown in middle school or whatever. And a lot of people were just amping me up to, do something goofy. They looking at me to do something silly. Did some silly stuff, got some laughs. Didn't know that there was anything. I didn't even know that was comedy. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just doing stuff, being silly, being a boy, making fart noises and making stupid faces and just doing just boy stuff. Didn't know that that was a comedian. Didn't know that's what comedy was. That's how comedians do things. So I was just like, doing that or whatever. So a teacher was like, since you think you're so funny, be in the talent show and display your talent. Cool, no problem. I can do this. Had the audition for the talent show. I didn't even do no jokes. It was like I caught my first case of stage fright. It was in the cafeteria / stage. I don't know what you want to call it. A stage / cafeteria. It was something stupid, something crazy. So, go up there, try to do some jokes. Didn't know no jokes. I was like in the 7th grade. I don't know nothing about comedy. I watched comedy. I watched Def Jam and, little things of that nature. But I wasn't into comedy, so I didn't know what to do for a joke. Your mama jokes wasn't gonna work. Talking about my friends wasn't gonna work. It wasn't gonna get people. It was gonna get the people to laugh, but it wasn't gonna get everybody laughing. So I was like, I don't know what to do. People was like throwing out jokes and knock jokes, and I'm saying it, and I wasn't being funny. I'm just talking and kind of like I am now, and people were just like laughing because it's me, but other people were just like, "What are you doing?" I was nervous. So that happened. I was excited though. I was like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna figure it out. So the whole week I'm nervous because I'm like, I'm trying to really come up with a thing to do. So much to the point that I'm being bad. Like, I'm being bad in class. I ain't paying no attention. I'm just trying to focus on how to make people laugh or whatever. Get in trouble. Gets sent to the principal's office. My hair's a mess. Anyway, gets into the principal's office. Um, I end up getting in trouble and get kicked out the talent show. So I ain't never get a chance to do the talent show. I got kicked out of it. I got in trouble, got kicked out of it. So that was 7th grade year. We're gonna fast forward now. High school. Freshman year, sophomore year. We had like school plays for like the school. Different plays, short story plays, and just like random plays that like students came up with, or the teacher, wanted to perform. So we put this together. Kids put that together for the school or whatnot. Cool. I just remember just sitting in the auditorium. I'm just looking at people and I'm like, I can do that. Like, I want to do that. Like I said, this was all about my freshman, sophomore year. I'm looking at people, and then the people that was in these plays, I kind of knew them like through middle school, class clowns or whatever. Or then it was some people that was in theater or doing stuff of performance that I didn't even know who was interested in stuff like that. So it kind of shocked me. So I'm looking at them do this. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can do this. Like I said, freshman, sophomore year, I'm like, I can do this. Never did it. Didn't know how to do it. Didn't know how to get into the theater program or class or whatever. What program or whatever to sign up for. Didn't know how to do it. So freshman year, didn't care about it. Sophomore year, didn't care about it. Watching it, looking at people, knowing people, I'm like, I still want to do it, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm like, whatever. Didn't even like click with me that I wanted to do it. So I'm like, whatever. So after all that, junior year now, I'm in excuse me. I'm sitting here in my last home period, which was math. So we in math class. My teacher, which is odd. It's like all these math teachers that I had, besides one, I had one older lady, like my freshman year. She was like real mean and strict. After all that, like everybody was like either a track teacher, football coach, or basketball coach. It was weird, like literally, like I said, freshman year I had a mean older lady. Sophomore year, it was a track coach. Junior year, basketball coach, and then my senior year was a football coach. But like I said, junior year, sitting in class, and my teacher, at the time, she was like grading papers at her desk or whatever. So it was me, one of my good friends, and another guy. We sitting at a table, the class clown table, I should call it, because we always get together. We just always joke and play and, whatever. But we did the work. That's the thing. Let me put that in there. We did do work. I did work, actually, which is crazy because I'm always cutting up and getting distracted. But I was actually doing work, and we sitting here, we playing, we talking, just whatever. And a friend was telling us a story about him and him dating his female or whatever. So we sitting here laughing. We're boys. We're thinking we know and everything. You thinking we the big man on campus and we know about relationships. So my friend, he's talking about some stuff. I'm talking about some stuff. My other friend's talking about some stuff. So we all just pretty much just bouncing stuff around on how we talk to girls and how we deal with girls and who got the best game, all this boy crap. And I'm taking their stories, mixing it with my stories, and mixing it with like entertainers that I've seen on TV, like like Red Fox, Bernie Mac, um, who else? Like Chris Tucker, Cat Williams. Like I'm taking like all of these iconic, figures and trying to like think how would they tell these stories from their point of view. So I'm doing all this in front of my class. Well, not in front of my class. It's like me and like I said, me and my group of friends, we in this corner, and like the class is like the way I'm standing is like if I'm standing in front of you like it's like the class is behind me. But I ain't paying no attention to them. It's like a few people in there, but I don't really talk to them. I only talk to this particular group of people. So we sitting here in the corner, we just joking. I'm standing up and I'm doing all this and laughing and talking about this, and they're dying laughing. I was like, you are stupid. I'm like, nah, man, this is how you talk to a woman. You do this and that. Excuse me, and I'm a man and I'm a Mac, I'm like Bill Bellamy for how to be a player. I'm this and that, yeah. So I'm just going off and just talking about like how cool and smooth and suave I am, and knowing I don't know what I'm talking about, but it looks like I know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm mixing all these movies and characters and their story, my story, making it sound like if it was me and how I would do stuff and how I handle stuff and how smooth I am. I'm doing all this. Like I said, they're laughing. Little did I know, my teacher is busting out laughing. Like she's listening to me talk, and because at this point when we was doing all this, and I was like thinking of all this stuff, I've actually stood up and I'm like performing all this, and I didn't even know that anybody was paying no attention. Like I said, I was just only entertaining. I was so in the zone. I was only entertaining me and my friends. I didn't even know that my teacher and like the rest of the classmates was like listening to me. Like I heard people talking and I heard them getting quiet, but I didn't think they was listening to me. I thought they was just being quiet just because they was just doing whatever or wasn't paying no attention. Everybody's listening to me. Everybody's laughing. But my teacher's really busting out laughing. She's turning red and everything. And she was just like, oh my God. She was like, come here. So I'm like, yes, ma'am. And I'm laughing because I'm like, dang, like I didn't say all this stuff. Like I was like being graphic. I was just being like I said, everywhere, all over the place. Like I know what I'm talking about. Like I knew what I was talking about, but I didn't really know what I was talking about. But it came off like I knew what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you were a teenager and you're a boy, you know what we talking about. So it's just everywhere. So I'm thinking like, oh man, I'm about to be in trouble. So I'm laughing. I'm not laughing like haha, but I'm kind of laughing to myself like, oh man, she didn't hurt me. I'm embarrassed. Like I'm not really embarrassed, but I'm like, ah man, she's probably gonna embarrass me, gonna say some stuff or ask me some stuff. Nothing like too graphic or nothing crazy, but she's gonna put a female's perspective on it and say some stuff that's gonna kind of stump me. So I'm like, oh crap. So she was just like, oh my gosh, like that was actually funny. And the cocky me was like, actually, girl, I'm hilarious. But now she was like, it was actually funny. She was like, what made you just stand up and do that? And I'm just looking at her and I'm like, I don't know. I was like, we just talking, they saying stuff, he's saying some stuff, I'm saying some stuff. And I just got up and just was like, I don't know, it was just natural to me just to act it out and just to be goofy. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really bother me. So she was like, have you ever thought about joining the drama club? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I was like, I wanted to like so bad my freshman and sophomore year because I saw people and I know people who was in there, but I don't know how to get into that. I don't know how to apply for it. Who to talk to or whatever. And she was like, well, the theater teachers, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't really know who that is. And then she told me where the classroom was and, what this guy looks like. I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of know what he looks like. I was like, I thought he was a student and when I was going to school, like like it, as I was going to school and as people's going to school now, like teachers don't even look like teachers. Back when I was in elementary, like teachers was looking like your grandmother that's like in her 50s, you know what I'm saying? Or you got like 40-year-old women and you got some older women that you're like, ugh. Like she looked like she could have been cute back in her day, but ugh, she's not attractive. But now you got these teachers who looks like they look like me, man. You know, you super young. You know, you don't even look like you're your age. And you tell them, you be like, get out of here. What? When was you born? Like, and that's how my theater teacher was. He was he was like a real tall, slim guy, and he looked like a kid. Like not a kid. Like he had facial hair, but not much. Like he didn't let it grow like wild and scraggly, but he kept it nice and tidy. So you thought he was a student, and then he just came off like a student. He didn't come off like a teacher. You know, he dressed like a student, like without the minus the uniform. Like if we was having dress down day, and he had on the jeans and the Vans or Adidas and like a button up shirt, like he looked like a student, pretty much, or a polo shirt, whatever. So I was like, yeah, I know who he is. So she was like, look, after today, I'm gonna go past his room, see if he's in there, and I want to talk to him. And if I talk to him for you, would you do it? And she was like, I mean, I'm gonna talk to him. She's like, you can think about it, whatever. In my mind, I'm like, in my mind, I'm game. I'm like, I'm gonna do it regardless. I'm not even about ready to, I'm not even about to think about it. I'm just gonna do it. So I'm like, sign me up. I'm gonna do it. So she was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. She was like, so you sure that you could get up and do what you just did in front of this whole entire school? Got it. Piece of cake. Mind you, I'm nervous as I don't know what, because like I said, I did it in middle school, my 7th grade year, and I got nervous when I seen everybody there. So I was like, ah. But in my mind, I'm like, I got it. Like, whatever, I got it. But I'm nervous, but I got it. Or we're gonna see if I got it, because I didn't know. So we go ahead and do that. She go ahead and get it together, put everything together, and so now there's the next day. I'm back in class, and she calls me to her desk. Excuse me. Like I said, it is 4 in the morning. Just got off of work, and it's crazy. Like I said, man, I'm trying to become a YouTuber, so y'all gotta check out my Ultimate 10 channel. That's it. 4/24, April 2nd. Not joking. Not even playing, y'all. It's like for real. Just getting off work, man. Not even kidding. But anyway, so so it was the next day. Talked to my teacher, and she was like, "Come here." She was like, "Look, at the end of the day today, I need you to go down to the theater classroom." And I was like, "You talk to him?" She's like, "I told you I was gonna talk to him as long as you was really gonna go ahead and, join the theater club and really, go through with it." And I was like, "Oh, for sure. Yeah, I will. I'm not playing. I will." Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. Ooh. I was like, "Yeah, I do that." I'm like, "I'm for real. I really do it." So she was like, "All right, cool. So what I want you to do is like at the end of the day, probably like I say probably about 5 or 10 minutes, I'll let you. She's like, I'll give you about like 10 minutes. She's like 10 minutes before you leave and head home, and we dismiss. I'll write you a pass to go ahead and go down to the theater teacher's room, and then you can go ahead and talk to him. I was like, okay, cool. So 10 minutes before it was time to go, she did. She wrote me a pass. I goes down there. Meet him. He was like, hey, what's up? Heard a lot about you. So you want to join the theater club? I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'll do that. So he was like, which theater class do you want to be in? I mean, the one that performs in front of the school, I guess, or like whatever that is, or whichever one that is, or whatever uh you think I'll be good at. I'm good at, or good for, whatever. You know, I mean, I don't know. Just put me up there. I don't know. I really don't know. I just want to do it. So he breaks down everything, and I didn't even know theater. Excuse me, guys. Like I said, it's April 2nd, and it is 4/27. And make sure you check out that Ultimate 10 page. His channel's gonna be nice. But like I said, man, just got off. I ain't playing. Just got off. 4/27. But anyway, I'm like, didn't know it was that many levels to being in theater. So like you got theater 1, which is like your basics, just talking about what is drama, what is theatrics, and all this and that, blah blah blah. Which I don't really still know because I don't know. Then theater 2 is more of the step up where you're developing and writing your own plays, or you're writing your own plays, or you're writing your own sketches, and then what you do is you perform. From what I was told, you perform in front of just your peers in your class, and y'all do this for a while. Then you graduate to theater 3, which is where now you're performing your pieces in front of like a smaller audience. Like, just say if you've been writing a play, or you've been, trying to come up with a sketch. So you perform in front of your peers. So everybody that's in theater 3 and 2. So for the theater 2 and 3 class, from all that mixed together, I think how it was back then. Like you perform in front of them. Like you perform for everybody that's in theater 3. So everybody who was in theater 3, just say first period, second period, at the end of the day, all of them and theater 2 kids get together in the auditorium, and you sit down in the chair, but you're not on the stage. They sitting down in the auditorium seats, and you just performing on the floor. Like, that's what you doing in that theater 3. And then when you go up to theater 4 now is like it's like, I don't know nothing about acting or anything, but like theater 4 to me in my mind is like the big leagues. It's like, okay, now you're performing in front of the school. Now you're performing in front of the schools and parents and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the play. So it's like you do snippets. So like, let's say, let me think of a play. Just say if you did Beauty and the Beast. We're gonna use Beauty and the Beast as an example. So if I was performing Beauty and the Beast in theater 4, you do a snippet. Like, you do like your best scene or whatever, and you would probably perform like 10 to 15 minutes of it, like throughout the whole day. So like throughout the whole day of school, like if I was in theater 4, we was performing Beauty and the Beast. So in the beginning of the day, I would go to my homeroom class and then go straight to theater for. So that was the day that you get a pass to like perform all day. So you would go to homeroom and go straight to theater for, because everybody who's gonna be performing in Beauty and the Beast all day, y'all doing costume, wardrobes, reading your scripts, and y'all getting everything ready because y'all about to perform in front of the school. So the whole entire day you're stuck in theater class performing from uh what time did you go to school? Like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and then you're performing all the way up to like 2:20. So like all day you performing. So like that's what theater for is. Like you're performing for the school, and then later on you're doing the whole entire play instead of just doing these 10 15-minute segments. Now you're about ready to do the whole entire play at like three, no, I think it was like 4 or 5 or whatever, because it gives everybody a chance to, excuse me, like I said, it is April 2nd, 4:32. Not kidding. Just got off of work. And y'all make sure y'all check out that Ultimate 10 channel. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Real nice. But like I was saying, so theater 4, like I said, you perform all day, and then you will perform about 4. I only take 4. I think 4 is kind of stretch. Well, I think I say about 4:30, maybe 5 or something like that in the afternoon. Then it's when you perform and you practice, you rehearse, you just go over stuff, and then you get a chance for the parents and the friends and staff, whoever is gonna come. Now you're about to perform in front of the whole entire school. And excuse me, you're gonna perform in front of the whole entire school, and you're gonna perform in front of all these different parents or whatever, or whoever comes. Like that's what theater for is. So I'm like, okay, cool. Got it. So where do I fit in? That's why I'm asking now at this point. After that rundown, after everything I just said from theater 1 through 4, like I'm trying to figure out like where do I fit in? Because like I said, at this point when I've talked to the theater coach, and like I said, I wanted to be in theater freshman, sophomore year. Now we talking about my junior year, and now all of a sudden I'm talking to the theater teacher, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna fit in at, because I didn't go to theater 1 or 2, and if I was doing this like I was supposed to, then I would have been in theater 3. I'd have been in the 3rd class, getting prepared and getting ready to be in 4, which would be my senior year, where I'd be performing. Because that's how most people do. Most people do 1, 2, 3, and 4 and perform. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, where am I fit in? So he was like, well, for what I'm hearing, you don't have no problem performing. I'm like, no, not really. Like, I just stood up in front of my friends and we just joking, and I just, it just was natural. It wasn't me overthinking it, overlooking it, wasn't nervous. I just kind of, I don't know, like I just put it together, man, and I just came up with something, and it was like, it was no biggie. It was just no biggie. It was nothing, like nothing at all, nothing. He was like, all right, cool. Well, how about this? You a junior right now. It's really impossible to try to put you in theater 1, 2, and 3, and then have you perform in front of the school if you truly want to perform. I was like, yeah, I want to perform. Like, I want to jump straight in, head first. Just no experience, no practicing, just jumping in. I don't care. Like, that's what I want to do. Let's get that. Let's get that point. He was like, all right, cool. So this is what's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. Just talking with you, I like you. You seem excited. You seem thrilled. You seem like you really are interested. It's what I'm going to do for you. I want you to go write me a monologue or your own short script or skit. right? This is my junior year. This is probably like in the middle of the year, close to the end. Probably had like four. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, we had like probably like 4 to 5 months of school left, whatever. Like I said, it's close to the end. It's close to the end of the school year, so that's why I was, like I said, confused on like where I'm gonna fit at in this theater class. We almost like at the end of the school year, and there's no way that this is gonna work. But anyway, he was like, "Look, I want you to do a short story, monologue, skit, whatever you comfortable with, and I want you to write it down, memorize it, turn in the paper next year, and I want you to perform in front of the class, the Theater 4 class. Well, Theater 3 class, there's going to be Theater 4 next year. That's what I want you to do. And then moving forward, we'll see if you're ready to perform in front of the school. Bet. I can do that. You don't want nothing from me. You don't want nothing like, it wasn't no specifics like, hey, I want you to perform. I want you to do something scary. I want you to do something sad. No, you giving me the opportunity to freestyle whatever I want to do from a show, from a movie, if it's my own skits. Excuse me, y'all. If it's my own skits, you don't care what it is. Only thing you want it to be is you just want to see me perform in front of people and just see what I can bring to the table. Got you. So, shook on it. He was like, see you next year. Go to the teacher. She's like, so how'd it go? Like, what's going to happen? I was like, I guess I'm going to be performing next year. So she's excited because she's like, I can't believe that I like spoke this up and now I got you an opportunity to be in theater class and then I get to see you perform. Like, this is going to be so amazing. I was like, yeah. So she was like, so what do you got to perform? I told her like he would just wanted a monologue, a skit, or a short story, like something that I could perform that I'm comfortable with, no strings attached, like no limits to whatever. Like, he didn't limit me to whatever. He wasn't saying like you only can talk about this funny or this sad or this angry. Like, you gotta go with whatever makes you comfortable. I was like, I got it. So she's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I got, we got 4 or 5 months left into school. I got a whole summer, 3 months to, prepare and come up with something. So I figure it out then. So after that was it. So now summertime's coming, summertime's ending, and I'm getting nervous because, like I said, it was 4 to 5 months into the end of the summer. To the end of the school year and to the beginning of the summer. Of course, I'm a kid, teenager. I was thinking about it, but I wasn't thinking about it. Because I'm like, it's summertime. I'm trying to hang out with my family, with my friends, play basketball, go swimming, football, just the normal teenage boy stuff, like just playing and hanging out. So a week goes by. Some weeks go by before school starts. So then I'm like, we about ready to start school in 2 weeks. I ain't write nothing. I don't know if I'm going to do something funny, something serious, something sad. Like, I don't have no clue. And mind you, like I said, he left the door wide open for me to do whatever I want. I don't know what to do. Like, I was like, maybe I should do something funny. But once again, I had the talent show. I did different things that was funny, but I didn't really do nothing that was funny that I could be like, I'm going to just perform this because I know it's just going to work and had everybody laughing. No, I did. I had that moment my junior year where I stood up and got me that part, got me to get where I was at. But I was like, I can't do that. I mean, I probably could, but I was like, no, I couldn't do it. I thought to myself, I can't do that because I'm like, what I was talking about, what I did was kind of like, it was a little raunchy, to be honest. It was raunchy. The stuff I was talking about, I shouldn't have been talking about. You know what I'm saying? In high school, at my age and doing what I was doing, I shouldn't have been talking about that stuff. So I'm like, I can't probably go and talk about this in front of the class. It would make people laughing at me, how people like, what? But no, I can't do that. And it was a whole bunch of dudes that I was talking to about. So like I said, I'm going to be in front of, I'm going to be around other guys, females. It's going to be all tons of people. Sorry for that, y'all. Like I said, it is 4:42, April 2nd. Check out that Ultimate 10 is going to be the best channel. I'm working on it. I'm telling you, it's going to be the best channel. But like I said, 4:42 now. Just got off at 4 o'clock in the morning. Instead of going to sleep, taking a shower, I still got on work clothes. I just came in here and literally jumped on this so I can do what I need to do, man. You know, when you want to be successful or you want to do something in life, you got to just do things you don't want to do, which I'm going to go into that too when it comes to this comedy stuff. Because like I said, I've been a comedian for a minute and I did a lot of shows I didn't want to do, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so sorry to get sidetracked. That's sidetracked. That's how I get, you know, sidetracked. It's early in the morning, to be sleep, but still going. And then it was so crazy. I get off here with y'all and still be up for another hour or two. Probably won't go to bed until like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, little sidetracked. Back to it. So like I said, I didn't know what I was gonna do. He left the door open for me, and 2 weeks into school. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have no paper. What I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna tell him I didn't do it. I'm gonna perform, but I just didn't write nothing down or whatever. And then I was nervous too about writing something down. So I was like, I'm just gonna wing it. Just gonna wing it. Fast forward to 2 weeks is up. School's starting. I'm going into theater 4. Excuse me. It's like my last class of the school day. I don't know nobody in theater 4. Like I said, these guys was in theater 1 through to 4 now. So everybody that's in there know each other. I'm like the eyeball. I'm the new guy. It's like you playing on a basketball team. You've been playing with somebody, football. You've been playing what is it, Pee Wee, Pop Warner, or whatever they call it. You've been playing since the little league, and now here it is, you in high school, and the people you've been playing with in the little leagues is in the high school with you, and y'all all still tight. And then you got me. I ain't never played in the Pee Wees or little leagues with y'all. I just jumped straight in, and then everybody's looking at me like, who are you? What are you in here for? You lost or something? So like that's how I got that type of vibes and energy. So we sitting there and I'm like, dang, I'm sitting back, I'm nervous because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Everybody's got their own thing, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm gonna move this camera. Oh, there we go. There we go. My bad, y'all. I had to move that. So I was nervous because, like I said, everybody had their own little thing. Like I said, everybody knew what they was gonna do, knew how they was gonna perform, because they all had they little spiel. Whatever. Everybody knew what they was gonna do because, like I said, they was in there already. Everybody was in theater 3, so they already knew what they was gonna do. I didn't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm 4 or 5 months into school. I'm just joining. I just got talked into joining, and I was like, cool, whatever. Like I said, I spending my time being a boy and doing everything else, like hanging out. So I get in there. meet the theater teacher, you know, how you good doing, how's it going, you know, you got your monologue, like what you gonna do, skit, whatever. Sorry about that. I was like, nah, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. He was like, so do you need time? I was like, nah. He was like, so you okay with just performing? I was like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, I can perform. I was like, I just don't have no paper. I don't have no paper, but I can perform or whatever. And he was like, that's cool. He was like, that's cool. You know, don't worry about it. As long as you can perform and you're not nervous and you know what you're going to do, just do it. I was like, yes, sir. So he was like, when do you want to go up? You want to go up now? You want to be first? Da, da, da. I was like, to be honest, I'm a little nervous. Like I said, I just jumped straight in. I could perform. I was like, but I kind of want to see everybody else. I was like, if you don't mind, like let me see like a few students go up first before me, and then I can go up, and then I can go ahead and, you know, kind of just turkey back off of what people's doing or see what everybody else is doing. And I can kind of get an idea, and, you know, I can see what I need to do. He was like, okay. I say probably about 4 kids went up before me, did their own little monologue. They had their paper. They read off what they was going to do, like a script. They wrote their own script. It's like, hey, my name is, you know, X, Y, and Z. I'm going to perform this and that. And, you know, it's going to be a piece on, you know, beauty and love with anger and rage and something like that. Just the example of how they did it. So 4 kids went up. I told the teacher I want to go after the 4th kid. And I had to go up or I had to say my name or whatever and get into my monologue. And the monologue I did, or sketch, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't even really, it really wasn't nothing. Like, it wasn't nothing from a movie, which I thought I was going to do. Excuse me, y'all. I'm going to show y'all again. And it's April 2nd. Make sure y'all check out that Ultimate 10 channel. It's going to be nice. Very, very nice. April 2nd, 4:50. I'm sorry, 4:49. Like, almost 4:50, as you can see. I'm not kidding, y'all. 4:49, almost 4:50. April 2nd. And just gotta do what I gotta do, man. Can't complain. Can't cry. Can't whine about it. You know you sleepy. Look, eyes running, nose itching. Can't even stay on track. Goodness gracious. Get it together. Anyway. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, maybe I'll do something that I seen on TV, something funny to me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do something. I didn't know what I was going to do. I don't know what I was going to do. I go out in the hallway, thinking about it. Don't know. So I look into class. The teacher, you know, says my name, says what's going to go on, this, and that. And all of a sudden, from the outside of class, I hear, action. I flew open the door, run in. I'm like, looking left and right. I'm like, man, what's going on? This, and that. Where's the car? My skit was me being in a bank robbery, and it all goes wrong. That was my skit. Me being a bank robber, and it all was going wrong. It's falling apart. And my car wasn't there. And then when I saw that I think a car that was mine, it was locked. I didn't have the keys. Like, anything you could think about in a bank robbery gone wrong in the most funny and ridiculous way possible is what my skit, whatever, was about. Did that, people laughed. Some classmates was harsh. They just looked at me and just like, that's stupid. But for the most part, some people laughed. Teacher laughed. He liked it. And he was just like, what made you think of that? I was like, I don't even know. I was like, I ran into the classroom when you said action, and I initially wanted to do something like angry. Like I wanted to be mad. Like I wanted to be like a madman, like a mad husband, not abusive or nothing crazy, but like I wanted to be like a mad husband, a boyfriend coming in, long day of work, my world's crashing in, I'm stuck in, the middle. I'm trying to be successful or trying to do something and I just can't get up out of these bills. Kind of like a good times type of thing. You know how good times, if you, depending on your age, good times, whatever. Like the show Good Times. Like that's what I thought. But it just didn't come out that way. When I ran in, I just thought of a bank robbery going wrong in the most funny, stupid, goofy, ridiculous way. And that made sense to me. It resonated with me. So, boom, got action. That's what I did. So after that, it went good. I talked to the theater coach, teacher, whatever. And he was like, man, that was good. That was funny. Then he was critiquing me. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Is that it? Critiquing? No, I don't feel like that's the right word. Like I said, it's early. It's April 2nd, a Tuesday at that. But he was just looking at me. And he was kind of giving me feedback and telling me like, okay, cool. When you do this and you do that, like you was good, but I think like, some of the elements was missing. Like, you should have had like more surprising look or like looking like, more facial and hand gestures and like stuff that could be funny without being funny. He was telling me like when you like if you stub your toe, what I'm saying, instead of you hitting your foot and then be like, oh man, I just hit my foot. He was saying like, okay, you stub your toe. What would you do when you stub your toe? You would jump up and down or you would make a face. Because if you hit your foot, you'd be like, and then you be, what I'm saying? Like he was saying that's the type of elements that I needed to add. Instead of saying things and doing things, with words, do that same thing with facial expressions, body language, and, just anything, other than just using your words and your voice. So I'm like, okay, cool, that's what's up. So we did that. Fast forward, working on some plays. We did a few big ones. And the first half of the year, we did we did a smaller play. I can't remember what it was called, but we had a big stage in our auditorium, and our stage was big, but we had like 30 seats. But this wasn't for the outside public. This was more for the schools. So we did a school play. It was like 30 seats on the stage. And we do like small segments and stories. So we did that. I was nervous. Cause like I said, I performed in front of the class, but I ain't never performed in front of no kids. I mean, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. I performed in front of the class. I haven't performed in front of anybody else. So I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, but we'll see. So, long story short, We performed. I did good. But I still didn't know how I would handle it if I was in front of a crowd because, like I said, in middle school, I froze up. I didn't know how to perform in front of people. But this, I guess, kind of helped me because when we did this first play for the school of 30 kids, well, 30, a classmate of 30, whatever it was, we did it in front of 30 people. Excuse me. It's April 2nd, Tuesday. Almost 5 o'clock in the morning. Just got off work. I'm telling y'all, man. Look at that. I'm not playing. April 2nd. Let me do that for y'all again so y'all can see I'm not playing. 4:56. April 2nd. Make sure y'all check out the Ultimate 10. It's going to be a nice page. But, still going to sleep. I'm up doing stuff like this for y'all, for the people. So, what happened was you perform in front of this school, 30 people, whatever. We did that, and as we performing in front of the school of these 30 people, classmates, teachers, whatever, all of my lines was from the back. So I'm literally unprepared. I play a maintenance man in this play. I can't remember what the play was called, but in this particular play, I'm the maintenance man. And all of my lines were said by off in the back, off stage. And it's because people's talking to me. Okay, I'm a maintenance man. So what I do is in the play, I might enter in the room and then I'll be like, hey, what's going on? They be like, hey, can you fix it? I'm busy. And I just walk off. That was my character. I'm a busy maintenance man. I come in, they be like, hey, they got a maintenance man right there. I'm like, hey, y'all need some help? And they be like, yeah, can you come and fix it? So I'm like, I will in a second. I'm busy. Hold on. That's all I did. That was all my lines. Is, oh, I'm busy. Or, hey, I'm busy. Or, oh, you need this? I can do that right after I handle something. I'll be right back. And, that's all I did. But I had more lines, but it was off in the back. So it might be the story might be somebody's talking or something and they might be saying, well, the maintenance man is here and he's not doing his job. And then, you just hear me off in the back yelling I am doing my job. Don't tell me what to do. I'm doing my job. I'm doing it right now. You can't see it, but I'm doing it. And they be like, well, you need to fix this out here. This heater's messed up. I'm like, I can't fix the heater out there when the stuff back here needs to be fixed first. So that was all I was doing. The whole play. I'm yelling from behind the curtain, and I'm interacting with my cast members. But like I said, I'm off the stage. You can't see me, but you hear me. So that was easy. So I'm literally just following my lines because I really didn't know my lines because I said I'm off in the back. So I wasn't nobody that had a big role. Excuse me. I didn't have a big role, so I'm just reading off my stuff from the back. Whatever, getting it done. Whatever, reading it. So I do that. That does good. And we doing this for a whole week. But like I said, it's a whole week, but it ain't a big play. So I didn't have to be in the theater class every day. I just had to be there at the end of the day. We were just performing this play at the end of the day. And before people left school for that day or did whatever they did for activities, I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust this. That's what we did. So we just performed that all day. Not all day, at the end of the day. So we did that we probably performed in front of 2 or 3 classes at the end of the day for a whole week. So I don't know how they picked what classes, but for a whole week we just performed that. And I did that. So in the middle of doing all that, I met a good friend of mine that I talk to this to this day. I mean, I still talk to most of the people from theater and stuff like that, and my theater teacher, I still talk to him and stuff. I met another good friend. I don't know how he got into it, but he ended up getting into theater for it. So now him being into theater for it led up to me and him like at this like rivalry type of thing we was having. Like I'm coming in theater for, he comes in theater for, and this guy, he played sports. He was an athlete in school. He did football, wrestling. I think that's all he did. He did these two sports. I didn't do none of that. The only thing I did was just theater. I just played, um, unorganized sports, but for the school, no. My grades wasn't good. And like I said, I was a class clown, so that wasn't gonna mix. But anyway, we had this little rivalry thing because he came into theater for it. He came into theater for when we was doing this play, so I had all of the maintenance man lines, and he came in, and then he became the maintenance man. So we got one row divided by two guys. So it's like, just say we had 10 talking, if I had 10 talking lines in this play, now it's broken down by 5. I do 5, he does 5. We just alternate who does what. Like I might say something the first time, he might say a line the second, I say the third, he say the fourth, back and forth. So we just pick like that. So we did that for a while, and we was competitive, me and him, for whatever reason, I don't know. But we was we was like, I'm the best actor, bro. I'm the best. Like, I'm Martin Lawrence, you Will Smith, and I'm this actor, and you my backup actor, and I'm this and that. I make this play what it is. So we just, joking around back and forth. So we did that. Like I said, we had to do this play for a whole week. We did it for a couple of days, and then he was on, like I said, he's in football and wrestling. I think he might have did track. I can't remember. But anyway, he did all these activities, and he couldn't do it because it cut into rehearsals, because we had so after we did our play and stuff like that, we had like a kind of rehearsal or whatever. Excuse me, y'all, I'm sorry. I had a rehearsal for about, so school was over at 2:20. We had a rehearsal for like an hour, probably an hour, maybe less than, I can't remember, but it was like a small little rehearsal just to go over for tomorrow. Like, we're gonna perform this, and the teacher was like, I like this, I'm gonna take this out, I want you to do this, I want you to enter here, I want you to, so he was just kind of narrating how he wanted the play. So like I said, the guy who played football, he couldn't do it. So now it was me and him back and forth for 2 days. Now it went to me. So who gets the big head? I ain't gonna lie, I got the big head, because I'm like, I told you I'm better than you, boy. I'm this, and that, and I'm up here, and your career's up under me, boy. You ain't gonna never, da-da-da. So we joking and going back and forth. So that was that. That play's done now. Now we're getting ready for a bigger play. Now this is the play that's going for the whole school and outside of school. We done this big old play, and it was fun. I can't say it was fun. The other play was fun too, but this was fun because this put me in that seat that I was afraid of for so long, which is being in front of people. Because like I said, I've never been in front of nobody other than those my middle school since 7th grade. So we getting ready for this big old play, and let me say, I'm nervous because I was that type of person in theater that I was a class clown. I goofed off and I put everything off to the last minute. So I didn't really want to take on no big roles, like no big speaking roles. And I was that type of kid too that was like, I'm a class clown. So if I had a smaller role, just say if I had, when we doing this last play, like if I was a doorman and like, if I was like a doorman and uh, a butler, something small, you know, them little small roles that you'll see people that say little snappy, funny, witty things that make you laugh, and you be like, dang, man, I don't even know who he was, but that was like the funniest part. Like, like that's the type of, those are the type of roles I auditioned for school because everybody wanted to be the big role. Everybody, and when you have kids and teenagers and stuff that's in stuff like that theater, everybody wants to go for the big speaking role, the main attraction, the second. I'm not fighting for those cast roles. Like I said, I could be at the bottom. If we got a total of 20 uh characters and the main five or what the story's about and everybody else's is fill-ins, I'm doing that. Like, give me a few speaking roles and I make that the best role, which I did. That's what I did. So the last big play, I didn't care to do nothing fancy and I didn't care. So snap. Sorry about that. I almost kicked the whole thing over. So I didn't care for that. So I went for the smaller role, got it. My theater teacher came to me and was like, hey man, I know you like to be in front of the stage and I seen you, and when you into it, you want this role. Like, he was requesting that I should get, like, if it wasn't the lead role, I should at least get the second or third, something with more lines and I can have more range. And I'm like, I know my range and I think I'm just more funnier and I can just do and give the best I can just behind the scenes. I don't need that big role. I'm good with where I'm at. He was like, all right, man, that's cool. That's what you want to do. Let me remind you guys that it is 5 o'clock in the morning. 5:09 to be exact. 5:09, Tuesday, April 2nd. Not kidding. Got off at 4. Not playing. Make sure y'all check out that Ultimate 10 channel. It's going to be nice. Real nice. But I just had to throw that in there because, people would be like, oh, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. Nah, I'm up. Trying to do this. Trying to make sure I can give some content or something. Do something cool. Something nice. Whatever. But anyway, so I'm like, all right, man. That's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna go for the small role. I'm cool. End up doing that, and been rehearsing, practicing. Then like I said, this is a bigger play, so I got a few roles. I was a gatekeeper in the play, in this big play. I was the gatekeeper, had a few lines. Then I was an uncle. I played an uncle, and I had a few lines. And then the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper was a few lines, but it was more because it was a lot of ad-libbing, and it was only supposed to be me stopping these people from getting into this building and doing this and doing that. And I was supposed to say, get out of here, scram, beat it, leave, whatever. That's it. But it was back and forth. There's supposed to be maybe like a 3-4 line type of deal. They end up being something a little longer, which is not long bad. Like, oh my gosh, why is he doing this? It was more long, like funny, entertaining. It was just like, who put that in there? and the teacher loved it. So those are the two lines that I had, and I made them. I made it the best, and so had that. Got my two little rows. Excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. Had my two rows, and then I had to we performing and practicing, and then we have our like little curtain call on so at the end of the play you have your little curtain call. They introduced, me, your character, which was the uncle and gatekeeper. Then they play your little music that you walk out to, you take a bow and all that. So that's what we're rehearsing all this and getting ready, propped and prepped. And now I'm getting nervous. Because I'm like, I ain't performed in front of nobody since 7th grade. I didn't even perform in front of nobody, but I performed in front of some people, but I'm nervous because I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. But we about to find out. Whatever. So I'm nervous. Everybody's like, man, this is not, we boys, teenagers, we talking crazy. I'm nervous because I'm like, man, whatever. Everybody else is kind of nervous, but everybody else ain't nervous like me. Because I'm like, I don't know, how about I freeze up? I don't say nothing. So what happens is the play started. The curtains is closed. So I'm kind of looking out like that. And I see everybody. I see teachers. I see students. Some of my peers, some of my peers and some people that I don't know. But I seen them, just people you see walking around. Security guards, everybody. I see everybody. So I'm like, oh man, here we go. They play the theme song or the little music queuing up for the play. They turn on the spotlight. Curtain is opening up. The young lady who played my niece in the play, she's first. She's doing some stuff, dancing and talking and stuff on her phone. And then I come out and I mess with her and hey, what are you doing? I'm an uncle, so I'm being old. I'm thinking how my uncle would act. Like, girl, what are you out here doing? Shaking your little butt and listening to music and you don't know what's going on. Somebody gonna do something to you. They come up and take your purse or, take your dog and, yell for you. You can't hear nothing because you got these Walkman, bibbity boppity boop music on your head. So I'm doing all this goofy stuff. So everybody's laughing. And everybody's laughing, I think, just because everybody knows an old person who's like, you listening to this loud music, you can't hear. Why would somebody do this or say this to you? I call your name and da-da-da-da. So everybody's laughing off of that. And that was it. Excuse me. Then, like I said, I'm the gatekeeper, which is later on, but I'm the uncle first. So I do that. And I was like, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. Because in the play, that scene, we was on the stage and the crowd is far back. So that didn't bother me. And then, like I said, it's dark. They cut the lights down and then they got the spotlight on you. So you can't really see out in the audience. Cool. Now, plays going on. Like I said, this is just the kids, the staff, teachers, everybody in the crowd. And the teacher who told me to get into theater, she came and she saw that play too. Oh, she saw I think she might have seen the first one. But I remember she seen the second one because she came up to me and talked to me. So, she's there and a lot of other people are there as well. And the play's going on. My part's coming up. So the spotlight's coming on me. And we was on the stage, but like I said, I'm the gatekeeper and I'm trying to stop these people from going on the stage, which is like a building. So now I'm far back from everybody, but now I'm up close because the stage is the building. So I'm out front of the building, which is the floor, which is like I'm looking at the people, even though it's dark, but you can kind of see people. And then what makes it even worse, I'm hearing people like saying my name. It's like, oh, yo, that's such and such, and he's this and that. He's funny. So you kind of hearing the chatter and people saying your name and trying to like mess with you, but you got to stay locked in and focus on what you're doing. So I'm sitting here doing my stuff and, going back and forth, saying my lines. We're ad-libbing and, we're just going off our heads and making up our own things as we go to make it funny to whatever. It's going good. But I'm hearing everybody saying my name is doing all this, and then I'm kind of like, I gotta stay focused. Do that, everything's good. Do the uncle, do the gatekeeper. Good. End of it, everybody's laughing, everybody's excited. Do the play, like I said, we do it in front of school for like 15, 20 minutes. That was it. Because we did the first part, jumped in the middle, and then we closed it out at the end. We did it all in 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Beginning, middle, and end. Little snippets. People like to play it overall, but people like my part as well. And it was like, you was goofy, you was funny. I can see you being that character because you're goofy like that for real. But then everybody was like, all right, now it goes to like, okay, cool. We seen you in the beginning, we seen you in the middle. So what do you do at the end? I'm like, that's it. Y'all just see me in the beginning and y'all see me in the middle, that's it. So like all my friends and like the people who knew me and the teachers was thinking I had way more. I don't. I'm just only in the first, in the middle. The ending of it, I ain't in it. And everybody was like, why not? Why not? Why not? Why you get another role? I ain't on another role. Y'all like what y'all saw, so I felt like that was good enough for me to do. Is that little part. That little part got y'all excited, so why do I need more? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of feeding into y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's making y'all want more. So since it's making y'all want more, I did my job. So the play went good. I did my little lines same way. Added added a little bit to it when it came to the uncle and the gatekeeper. Plays over with. And like I said, you do 2 plays. You do a small play, a short story play, then you do a finale play. And that was the finale play. And the finale play plays off into the end of the year. So the end of the year is approaching. I'm about ready to graduate. Talking to my theater teacher. Me and him got real tight at this point. And just talking to him, and he was like, so man, what are you going to do? Graduation is like less than 2 to 3 weeks away. What are you going to do? I was like, man, I think I want to be an actor. He was like, that's going to be hard. It costs a lot of money. I'm like, how much we talking though? Like, are we talking like a couple $100, $500? I'm a kid. I know about money and I know about money and working and everything, but I didn't know how paychecks and hours go. I didn't know how that stuff works. I wasn't working as a teenager. I just didn't do it. I focused on school. My mother wanted me to focus on school, so I did that, and that's what happened. So he's like, nah, man, it costs a lot of money. And I was like, well, you a theater teacher, you know, he wrote stuff. He wrote like short story plays. He wrote like scripts and books. So he wrote some stuff. It's not like he's like big, but he did some stuff that was noticeable. So like, but you did this and this and that. You know, you didn't go to acting school, but he didn't go to acting school, but he had some experiences with some stuff. So that's why he got the things that he got, and he just had relationships and stuff with people. So that's how he got his connections and stuff. It's relationships and just knowing people and just doing different things. So I was like, dang, man, that's dope. But I don't know. I don't know nobody. I guess so I don't know how we're gonna do it. So I really want to act, man. I was like, just to feel that rush, to feel like, you know, it feels like you jumping into an ice cold thing of a tub of water. It's just refreshing, and it just hits you like, like that's how I felt. It just a burst of fresh air. And we explained it. I explained it to him, and I talked to him about it. And I'm like, man, I like that. And he was like, well, why won't you do something to like most people do? He was like, start off small. Like, if you really want to act, you don't know, you don't have the funds. He was like, how about, you don't have the funds or you don't know about it, don't have the funds or you don't know nobody. He's like, how about you just be a comedian? I was like, a comedian? I was like, what is that? You mean like tell jokes? He was like, yeah, that's what a comedian is, you know, telling jokes. I was like who can I tell jokes? Like, who can I tell jokes like? He was like, who's your favorite comedians? And like I said, at this time when I was younger, I wasn't really into the comedy scene like that. I watched whatever was hot. And I remember back in middle school, for me, what was hot was Def Comedy Jam. Even though Def Comedy Jam was like in the what was that, like the early 90s and like stuff like that, like in the early 90s and 2000s, like that's when it was really popular. But here it is, it's still like in the 2000s. It's like the mid 2000s for me. And it was just making a whole bunch of noise, like it was fresh on the market. And I remember watching, like I said, a few of the acts like Bernie Mac and Martin Lawrence, Chris Tucker, Cedric, Guy Tori, like just all these big, you know, names that's, you know, circling around the entertainment business. Like that's what I remember watching on Def Comedy Jam. And then I ended up watching the Kings of Comedy, which was like in the 2003, maybe 2003, 2004 year. And I remember that. So I don't really have much experience with comedy. Like that's the only comedy I watched. Like I said, I watched a few Def Jams, and I watched the Kings of Comedy. Excuse me, and I watched the Queens of Comedy. So I'm like, I don't even have those to go off of. So I don't really have much. And he was like, so who's your favorite comedian? I was like, I like Bernie Mac. I was like, I really like Bernie Mac. I think he's like super hilarious. So he was just like, well, maybe you should study Bernie Mac, like his style, like how he talks and how he dresses, and not be him, but just his presence, and just see what he talks about and see if anything he has that he can talk about, Karen, you know, can kind of connect with your life, and then you could throw your life story in there and like make it your own. Kind of like that kind of dawned on me, kind of like how I did with, you know, my buddies. Like, you know, we all talking about relationships, and then I'm throwing in my own and taking theirs and making it as mine and mashing it together. So I'm like, okay, cool, I got it. I got you. So I'm asking a million questions at this point, because I'm like, how do I write a joke? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? How do I do it? How do I? That's all I keep asking is how? Because I don't know. And he don't really know because, like I said, he's a theater teacher. He writes like scripts and short stories and sketches and not sketches, skits and stuff like that. So he don't really know how to write a joke, but he just giving me some pointers and telling me just to look it up. And at this point, internet is the internet, but it wasn't the internet. Like we had YouTube and we had Google, but we didn't have what we have like in this current day and time where we can just like talk on the phone or we can type up something or they give us all these suggestions on what's what. It wasn't like that. So I didn't know how to look that stuff up anyway. And I didn't know what to say or what I was going to find. So I just never did it. So I ended up going home, just watching a whole bunch of tapes. VHS tapes, Def Jam, of every single one that my pops had, anything with comedy, I was watching it over and over, day in, day out. That's all I'm doing is watching comedy. Go back to school, telling my teacher about it. I ain't wrote nothing down, but I'm just listening, just watching, just listening, just watching. Excuse me. So I did all this. Now we almost about ready to graduate. I was like, all right. Like I said, I told you I got close with my theater teacher after that. So now I'm like, all right, now I'm watching all this footage, watching all this, trying to figure out comedy content in my mind. I think I got something. But what I do from here? I might have some ideas, but where do I go at? What do I do? You know? I know my hair looks a little rough. Looks good. I ain't gonna lie. But now I'm like, I don't know what I do. Like, where do I go? Because in my mind, what's so crazy, like all of us comedians, when you first a comedian, or first time become a comedian, you just think you gotta go to LA. That's what I thought. I thought I had to go to LA or New York because Def Jam was in New York. You see a lot of performers performing in LA. I mean, they perform all over, but you know, you just know that LA is where to be at because of actors and opportunities. So you're just thinking, or I'm just thinking, like, I just gotta go to LA or I gotta go to New York, man. I don't have no job. I don't have no money. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. So I ain't gonna be no comedian. So he's like, look, man, just go to open mic night. I'm like, what is an open mic night? I don't know nothing about no open mic night. He was like, it's simple. You just sign up. He's like, better yet, one of the teachers here has an open mic night every Friday, I heard. Something she's starting up because she's giving opportunities for her students that needs an outlet. Like, he's like, you know, some people are very talented. They do poetry, they can sing, they can rap, dance, do comedy, whatever it is that you feel like you're very skilled and good at, and you just want to, you know, have an outlet. She's putting together open mic, so that would be your opportunity to practice. You know, before you go to like New York and LA, you know, you go to these open mics and you work on, you know, being a comedian, which still doesn't dawn. What does that mean? But whatever, be a comedian. I want to take the time to say it is April 2nd, Tuesday, 5:30. Make sure y'all check out that Ultimate 10 channel. It's going to be nice. Real nice. Been talking to y'all for like an hour and a half, man. So, sorry. Sorry for this being long, but I'm really into comedy, man. So I can really just do this all day because comedy is just what led me to want to be a YouTuber, just because I don't want to work my 9 to 5 no more. I don't. But anyway. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with this comedy biz. Because I'm like, I don't know how to start this. I don't know what to do. And comedy was a way for me to try to get up out my 9 to 5 too. But I've did research and figure out if I stick with YouTube, I can gain and grow further and faster with YouTube than I can with my comedy career. I don't know. It just depends on how good you are and what you do. But anyway, I will go into that later. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Talk to my theater teacher. So he told me, check out this open mic. Talk to this teacher. Once again, anything I realized when I got older, anything you want and how far you get and you go is because of the relationships you build or people that you know. It's not who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And that is absolutely true once you think about it. Once I think about it. Because the stuff that I did and where I got and how far I did things made sense for me and to me. So, talked to the teacher. She was like, okay, cool. Open mic nights this Friday. You be there. I think it started at like 7, maybe 6 or 7. I'm excited. Very first time doing comedy. At this point, I graduated, by the way. So I'm talking to my theater teacher. He told me about this open mic. And it was going on while we was in school, but I didn't do it until I graduated. Because after I graduated, that's when I was like, all right, cool, now I'm going to be a comedian because I graduated. So I can work on, that and just wherever, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. Or whatever else I want to do. And I think anybody should try to chase their dream out, whatever they're passionate in when you out of high school or when you're pretty much when you're fresh out of school or while you're in school because you don't really have nothing to distract you. And, besides school or work, if you have a job or if you end up having kids early, but if you don't, then, focus on something and just do it. But anywho, now, like I said, fast forward, this was all before I graduated. Now I graduated. And she's been doing this since we was in school. So I had a number. I talked to the teacher and then she gave me her number and she was like, just reach out to me. Okay. Reached out to her. She's like, cool. Show up at I think it was 7 o'clock. The open mic started. I'm sorry, y'all. My nose is itching. Sleepy now. Nose is itching. You know how it is. You get all itchy. Nose itchy. Sound all clogged up because I'm all sleepy. But working, man. It don't matter if you sleepy or not. You gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway. So, open mic started, I think, at 7 o'clock. So, excited. I tell my whole family. I tell my mom, my pops, my aunts, friends, anybody that I had in my phone. I told them all. My mom came, which is crazy. I got the footage somewhere. Mom, aunt, my uncle, my aunt's work friend, a lot of my buddies from school, teachers, a lot of people came out. Now I'm kind of nervous because the open mic now is at a coffee shop. And it's not like the school. It ain't huge. It's up and close and personal. We're right here watching you. Everything you do. It was that close. It wasn't all up on you like that. But it was kind of this close. So it wasn't a lot of distance. And then with this, it wasn't no dark. It wasn't no lights off. Spotlights on you so you can't see. No. It's a coffee shop. Lights is dim, but you can see people just drinking coffee or drinking espressos or whatever, anything that the coffee house is serving, breakfast, all people eating, drinking, and just watching me. They call my name, grab the mic, looking at everybody, open up with my first joke. And let me say this. As soon as I grab the mic and I open up my mouth, trash. I was trash. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I was trash. Open mic. So it was, you say whatever, no hose bar. I wasn't no clean comic. I'm not a clean comic. Far from it. I'm I can't even say raunchy, but I'm not a clean comic. I'm not that raunchy, talk about everything up under the sun to make you be like, oh my God, why you talk like that? Boy, you are filthy. No, my comedy is, like my comedy style now is, I'm a dirty comic. I talk more about my kids, about me, my mother, my wife. Those are the type of stuff I talk about. But back then I didn't have nothing to talk about. I got stuff now. Back then I didn't. Like I said, I was fresh out of high school. I was only out of high school for like a week. Did a comedy. I did the open mic, and I was trash. I talked about my family, but it wasn't like what I do now. Like now, if you see me on stage, I can talk about my family in a whole different type of light because I've had time to grow and develop material and ideas on my family. Like, okay, cool, I can talk about my mom. I can talk about the time I got a whooping or the time I got a punishment or I did this, and this. Or I can talk about my aunts and, my cousins, which I really don't. I really focus on like my mom. It's stuff that I did on a day-to-day basis. Anything I did as a teenager on a day-to-day basis is what I really center and base my comedy and my material around now. And like I said, my kids and my wife and my day-to-day life now when I do a show. But back then, it was just my mom, my cousin. Anything I thought that was funny, it was trash. It wasn't funny, wasn't even close. I mean, people laughed. I got laughs. But I got laughs from my friends. I got laughs from my peers and my mom and family. But it wasn't that, I don't think it was that general. I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast now. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was genuine. Like, hey, he's actually good. It was just one of those like, he's funny. I mean, we know he's funny, but he's trying. Like it's like the cousin who's trying to push off his jokes on you. It's not funny, but he's trying. That's what I felt like it was. People laughed, but it wasn't funny. And like I said, I found the footage and I looked back at it and I was just like, what was I talking about? I'm just talking and rambling, and then I'm a new comedian, so you make those stupid mistakes when you're joking or you're telling a joke, you're setting it up and where it's supposed to be funny. Instead of you like being funny, you would say it, but it wasn't funny. So then you kind of get that awkward like ha ha chuckle, and then nobody's saying nothing. And then you're kind of like, you know what I'm saying, man? You know they don't know, but you know. No, they don't know. Like, what are you talking about? So, trash. After that, I was on the high. I'm not gonna lie. It was trash, but I was on the high now because I'm like, all right, cool. I packed out the house. I didn't pack it out. I mean, I packed it out, but I didn't pack it out. Like, I don't want to make it sound like on this video that I did my first open mic, and I like out of if the seats was 40 plus, 40 under, I packed out and brought 40 people in, and maybe like a handful of everybody brought people. No, I literally just brought my mom, my aunt, my uncle, a few people, probably about like 5 or 6 people, probably 10 at the most. And it felt good. Everybody was really dressed up, coming out to see me, support me. It was good. Trash, but it was good. The experience. So I'm kind of at this point in being a comedian where I didn't know what I was gonna actually do, because it went great, but then it was like, I take it back. It went over okay. Like on a scale of 1 through 10, I say it was like maybe a 4.5. But I was like, I was overly excited because I had my family and I had those laughs, those giggles. So I'm like, cool, I can do this. So that was a Friday after graduation. Skip to another Friday. Well, I asked her when is the next open mic. Next Friday. Sign me up. You're there. Cool. I'm excited. Same thing. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna blow up overnight. In my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna be the next biggest thing. I'm gonna be bigger than Dave Chappelle. I'm dope. It was trash, but in my mind, it was dope because it was like I had friends and family. I had people rallying behind me who knew me, so they made it easy for me. Second open mic night, text everybody, called everybody. I'm back at the thing. Now people could come, but nobody can't really make it. Everybody got plans, you know what I'm saying? Everybody stopped everything to come to see me that first time. Excuse me, y'all. Let me take a break to tell y'all that it's 5:43, April 2nd, almost 6 o'clock in the morning. Make sure y'all check out the Ultimate 10. It's going to be a nice channel, I promise. But hour and 30, almost 2 hours, I'm going to have to wrap this up because I could keep going on and on. But we're going to get to the good stuff, promise. So second open mic night, I'm like, all right, cool, text everybody. Everybody can't make it. I think, who came? A few friends, the same normal people who usually there, who saw me. A few family members again. That was it. This time, I performed trash. I think my first time was probably like my best time. But like I said, I'm trying to be a comedian. I don't know nothing about being a comedian. Like, I don't know nothing about comedy. So only thing I know is at this point now, I'm watching comedy all the time. Now I'm getting hooked on to, oh snap, sorry y'all. Now I'm getting hooked on to different comedians. Like I said, it's not Kings of Comedy no more. It's not just, I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to fix this stand. I didn't kick this stand and my stuff almost fell over. Back, y'all. Sorry about that. The stand almost fell. But anyway, now at this point, I'm watching comedy now. I'm watching a lot of comedy content. Now I'm really trying to get familiar with it. Now at this point, like I said, this is my second open mic. Now I'm watching comedians. I'm watching Kings of Comedy. I'm watching Def Jam. And then at this point, Cat Williams was the biggest thing on the market. So I'm watching anything Cat Williams did. So I'm trying to figure out and find out my lane, what I'm gonna go for. It didn't go so good. Second open mic, it was okay, but it didn't. It wasn't as good as the first. I still had the comedy high. I did probably like 2 more coffee shop open mics. So now I'm in my city and I'm trying to figure out where do I do, like what else is like next. Like all these comedians be famous and being funny and picked up at comedy clubs. We don't have no comedy clubs here. When you're not into anything or you're not interested or you don't know nobody, I'm telling you, whatever it is you into, whether it's singing, poetry, being a comedian, being an artist, when you're not thinking about that stuff, you don't think that stuff exists in your hometown. Because you're like, I don't know no comedians. I don't know no rappers. I don't know no actors. I don't know no painters. I don't know no musicians or whatever. So you're like, you're going down, like I said, in my mind, I gotta go to LA. I gotta go to New York. Cause those are the cities that you know where comedy's from and popular. Man, it's like, it ain't a lot of comedy clubs in my city. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. It's a lot of places that hold them, but like comedy clubs, big comedy clubs, like 2. It's 2 right now, and back then it was only 2. I think it was probably like 4 at one point though. But when I started, it was only like 2 big ones, 2 mainstream ones at that. So I found out a comedy club. And I was like, I don't know how to sign up for it. So they was like, well, you gotta look it up. Excuse me, y'all. Apologies for that, man. Y'all gotta forgive me. Like I said, I just got off at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's almost 6. And I've been talking to y'all for almost 2 hours now. Because this is stuff that I get into. I used to get into. But I still get excited when I talk about it. Because I still love comedy. But like I said, just trying to become a YouTuber and just do something different and try different things and just give myself and my mind time to rest from comedy right now. Dang, what was it? Oh, so I was like, I didn't know how to do an open mic at a comedy club. So I figured it out. Can't remember how I figured it out or how I looked it up. No, somebody told me about the comedy club here. So I looked it up. I called them. I called the comedy club. Was like, hey, I'm trying to do an open mic night. How does that work? That was like, at this particular time, open mic nights at that comedy club that I used to perform at, they held 3 open mics. They held Sunday nights, Sunday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. You got 3 nights to perform. Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 3 nights. And then Fridays and Saturdays were showcase shows for like your veterans or your up and coming, hottest comedian in the city, whatever. Or traveling comedians. So Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. 3 days to perform. I signed, and you could sign up. Back then you emailed the person and you tell them what you want to do. Like you could be like, okay, all right, for example, I could be like, all right, it's April, whatever Sunday falls on in this month. You could be like, I want to sign up for that day. You'll get it. If it's not a lot of people, or if it is a lot of people, you'll get it, but you'll have less time. So you could tell, like, I want to sign up for Sunday. I want to sign up for Wednesday. I want to sign up for Thursday. So with me being new to the game and the comedy thing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do Sunday. It makes sense for me because I wasn't doing nothing. I have family members who work, but I'm like, depending on Sunday, I was like, they could probably come out, maybe support. They did. Some of them did first few times. And I was no good. I was trash again. not knowing how to set up a joke, not knowing what to work with. Even though so I didn't know what an open mic was until now. Open mics are practice. They're just like anything else. When you playing in a sport, you don't just jump in the ring or jump on the court, field, whatever it is you playing in. You don't jump on the big stage and just be the best. Michael Jordan just didn't lace up a pair of Jordans and jump on the court and be Michael Jordan. He started off in the parks, practicing, getting cut, being rejected, to being who he is today. To the greatest of all time. People argue about it, whatever. That's what open mics are. They're for you to practice, get repetition in after repetition, get that muscle memory going when you're doing these jokes. Like if you got a 5-minute set, which every open mic back then, no matter if you perform Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, and open mics, you get 5 minutes. You only get more time if you're super, I guess I don't want to say super anything. If you're funny or if you're moving up to them, to in their eyes that they see you like you got potential and somebody can request you to do more and they trying to push to see what you got, then you can get that type of time. But if not, then you won't get that time, if that makes sense. So it's a numbers thing. It's very iffy. It's very iffy. So you start off as 5 minutes. And my first time at a comedy club, get my 5 minutes, people come. So at the comedy club, they have 2 rooms. They have a smaller room where the bar area is, and it's like, it's probably holds up to like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11 tables and 2 to each table. So it's like those big round tables and it's like 2 chairs. That's the small room. When I started, that was the small room. Then you go into the performance room, which is the main stage, where like if it was a entertainer coming, I'm not gonna say like a real big A-list, but like if it was somebody that was kind of, let's say if like Gary Owen. If Gary Owens came into this particular comedy club, he would perform in the big room. In the big room, I don't know how many seats it holds, but it holds a nice amount of seats. So he would perform in there. But as open mic nights, you didn't perform in the big rooms. We did have nights we perform in the big room, but that's when it's like, oh goodness. That's when the open mic night is huge. Like, a celebrity's coming into town, so a lot of people's coming in the open mic nights to see that performer perform. Because, you know, if you got a Gary Owens coming in for the weekend, and his weekend will start Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if he comes in, like I said, open mics is Thursday. And if he's in town Thursday and he's going to perform Friday, he might pop up in there Thursday night. You know, in low key. And then somebody found out and they opened up the big room because we got a lot of people going to come out to see the open mic because Gary Owen might sneak up in here. So he might pop up in here. So we in the big room performing. So I go ahead and I perform. No good. It was no good. Thinking about it now, it's no good. It was probably funny to me back then, but it was no good. So second night I performed. I'm sorry. First night I performed. And it was okay. I ain't like it. It was whatever. I was all over the place. My mom loved it. Everybody liked it. Friends and family. But I didn't like it because it was I didn't have nothing to... I had nothing to talk about. Second night, well, Sunday, signed back up for Thursday. Nobody can come, of course, it's a work week. Nothing. I didn't have nothing. I'm just talking again. Didn't have nothing to talk about. But for some particular reason, my second night performing, this guy was there. And he was like, yo, mind you, I just graduated. I'm 19. Guy was like, you're funny, you're talented, you're this, you're that. He's talking like, he reminds me of that actor. What is his name? Paul? I can't remember his name, but he's kind of got that cool, smooth, slow, mellow type vibes. And he's like, yo, I want you to perform. I want to do this. I want to work with you. Yada, 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 yada. He's a little under the influence. One thing I noticed and I realized, never work or get with people under the influence. In a comedy club, at a coffee house, bars, any venues that you are performing at, and somebody's coming to you and they under the influence, are they a little intoxicated? I mean, you can exchange numbers, but I wouldn't put too much stock into that. I did. Second time performing, got a guy's number, gave me his number, gave me his card. He was like, I'm an agent. I'm an agent. I'm excited. Because in my little mind, my little 19-year-old mind, I'm like, I'm about to blow up. I'm about to be the next Dave Chappelle. I'm about to be the next Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy. I'm about to blow up. An agent just hit me up my second night. Take it back. My mom wasn't there because she came the first time. She couldn't come the second time. So I called her because I remember now. I called her. I wasn't living at home no more. I called her. Like, yo, mom. Oh, my homeboy. I called him too. One of my homeboys that I was tight with in high school, he came. Well, he didn't come, but he came to other shows, but he didn't come to this particular show. And I'm calling him, and I'm like, yo, man, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking to my mama, blah, blah, blah. The show was over. His open mic was over at like 9 or 10 o'clock. It started at like 7. It ended at 10. Back then, back then that open mic would go from 7 to 10, 11, 12, 1. It was times I did an open mic at 7 and then get done until like 1:30 and got to be at work at 6. It just depends on who was running it, and it wasn't as tight and put together like it was, how it is to this day. Back then, anybody could just jump on it. Anybody could come in, email, say this, say that. Like I said, it starts at 7, it'd be over at like 1:30, 2 in the morning. I've done it all. 3 nights in a row. Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let me remind you guys. It's almost 6 o'clock. April the 2nd, Tuesday. Almost 6. Make sure y'all check out that Ultimate 10. It's going to be a nice page, I promise. But, like I said, these open mics back then, closing at like, over at like 1:30. Probably 2, depending on who was running it, how everything was structured. So that happens. I'm excited. Like I said, got this agent. So I'm excited. I wanted to call him. The show was, the open mic was over at like 11:30. I had his number. I told him I'd call him. I wanted to so bad, but I was like, nah, let me wait because I don't want to seem desperate. Just like when you meet a female, she's real cute. You like her, you want to call her up, text her. You don't want to. You don't want to seem like some cornball. So you be like, you know what? I'm gonna wait a couple of days, let it marinate, see if she was really thinking about me when she gave me her number. That's how I played it. I played it like that. 19 years old. That's how I played it. It could have been the biggest break of my life, but I waited for 2 or 3 days. And I called the guy. He didn't answer. This was like, I called him like probably like around about like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Called him, he didn't answer. Left him a voicemail. I was like, hey, this is, me, blah, 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 blah. Excuse me, the 19-year-old that, we had a conversation. Excuse me, y'all. I said, I'm the 19-year-old that, we had a conversation in the club, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I take that back. My mom was there because my mom was asking me who was that guy, and I told her who he was. So I take it back. Earlier in the video, I said that my mom wasn't there, so I called her. No, she was there. And I called my homeboy, a real good friend of mine, and then I ended up calling my mother. After I found out that he was a talent agent or whatever. Like I said, if you're under the influence, just remember. Anytime somebody's under the influence and somebody talks to you in a club and it's one of those situations, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, man. I learned a lot in this business. I'm still learning, but I learned a lot. So, he finally calls me back. Was that like a Thursday night? I think it was. So I probably called him. I don't even know when the day was. I'm going to say it was like a Thursday. So I got the number Thursday. I ain't called him until Sunday. He called me back like Sunday night. Yeah, I think I called him at like, I won't say I called him about like Sunday, Sunday afternoon. I called him like Sunday afternoon because like I let him get a chance to get settled in, and then he called me like Sunday night. And he was like, hey, I got your message. Yeah, you was the young guy from the club, yada, yada, yada. So what's going on, man? Talk to me. Tell me about yourself. Like, what's going on? So I'm like, I'm a comedian and, I just graduated, just did a few open mics at a coffee shop, and this was like my second open mic, and I'm just trying to be a comedian. So of course, he's asking me like what I want to get up out of the being a comedian. So I told him, I was like, man, I really like acting, and I talked to my theater coach when I was in high school. He's like, try comedy, and I tried it and I actually like it, yada yada. I'm young, so I'm excited. I'm talking with passion because that's how much into it I am at that time. So talking to him about it, and he's like, okay, cool, man, that's cool. I understand that. That's what's up. So you into that? So what do you feel like you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? He was like, so do you feel like you want to do open mics? Do you like what do you want to do? Like, if you get a chance to do, or you can pick what you want to do. I was like, man, I won't perform with this comedian, this guy, act, do this, won't travel. I'm saying everything I want to do. Like, if I had a chance to do it today, what I'd do. So he was like, all right, cool. He's like, you work with me, kid. We'll figure it out. I'm excited. I'm like, all right, this is talent agency. I'm there. So he was like, when is the next time you're going to do an open mic? I said, I don't know. To be honest, I'm like, man, I was like, I did it at this coffee house. I was like, it's okay, but the crowd, and I'm young. I'm 19, so I'm all about these crowds. I'm like, if it ain't a big crowd, I can't perform. It's totally wrong. Doesn't matter if it's 4 people. Hell, it don't matter if it's 2 people. You just perform and you give your best no matter what. 19-year-old, I didn't care. I didn't look at it like that. I'm like, if I can't perform in front of 100 plus, I don't want to perform. That was the 19-year-old idiot comedian me. So I'm like, man, I don't know. I usually perform at this coffee house, but I ain't did that in a while. I've been kind of hooked on this comedy club, so I'm gonna go there. He said, are you gonna go there on Thursday? Cause that's when I met him there. So I'm like, I don't know. I said, they got, you following along. Like I said, open mics at the comedy house was Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I was like, I don't know. It depends on what they have available. I'm just gonna go sign up, see what they say. I'm gonna give them what I want, but let's see what they say. All right, cool. He's like, well, let me know, and I'll be there. Cool. I think I wrote them and ended up getting on Wednesday open mic. Called him. He didn't answer. He calls me back. He was like, hey, sorry I missed your call. What's up? Hey, I'm going to be at the comedy club, whatever, Wednesday, this time. Because I think Sunday nights was like 7 o'clock. Wednesday, the times was from Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, they changed, like times changed. Like Sundays was like 7. Wednesdays was like from 8 to 9. I mean, it started around 8 or 9 o'clock, and Thursday started around 8 or 9 o'clock. Sunday was the only day that it started at like 7. Sunday 7, Wednesdays at like 8 or 9, Thursdays at 8 or 9. That's what time the open mic start. Okay, cool, boom. Told him what time I'll be there. He's like, okay, I'll try to come. He said, I'll try to come. No, he said he will come. He's like, I'll come. He was like, if I don't see you, if you don't see me, I'll make sure to get with you at the end of the night. All right, cool. So I'm excited. I done put on my best outfit, best quote unquote jewelry that I had at that time, best shoes. I'm dressed. I ain't in no like suit or tie or no 3-piece suit. Nice jeans, nice polo shirt, smelling extra good, nice Jordans on. Like I said, just herbal clothes, herbal wear, the best at that time that I felt was the best. I did a decent little set, had real genuine laughs. People was laughing, and just like how I was as a class clown in school, the more attention I got, the more laughs, the more I hear the laughter. I'm being extra, being more goofy and thinking about what my theater teacher said, say things with your body expressions, your facial expressions, without just using your words. So I'm doing all that, and it's just boom, 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 boom. It's hitting. So I'm like, did my 5 minutes, said my name, I'm out, like I'm getting off stage like I would have performed in front of 50,000. That's how I'm acting. Best set I had in my life. I'm excited. I'm like looking around now. I done walked to the back of the club, and I'm looking around because I'm like, I know the dude's here. I know the agent's here tonight. You know what I'm saying? He said he was gonna come, and I put on the best performance of my life. He wasn't there. Nobody that was somebody wasn't there. So I'm like, dang. Maybe he saw me, but he left out early. So now your mind at 19, my mind's playing like, okay, maybe he was here, he left early, or maybe, he was here and he stepped outside. So I'm going out. I went outside. Well, the people, cause it's like a little smoking section. I kind of go outside and I look over in the smoking section. It was like a few people, a few comedians. I talked to them. I'm kind of just walking out, acting like I'm on the phone, just kind of being a creep, trying to scout and see if I see him. I didn't see him in the inside. So I'm like, dang, cool. It's all right. My mind, he saw me. So I calls him. Not that night, the next day I calls him. Because I got out of there late. Calls him next day. Like, hey, it's me, blah, 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 man. I'm sorry to call you and bother you. He said, oh, no bothers, brother, man. How you doing? I said, I'm doing good. I put on the best show of my life last night, man. I know you saw it or you was there, but I just didn't see you. And, you said you'd get with me. Now, I knew it was kind of late. He's like, dang, brother, man, I didn't get a chance to make it, blah, 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 blah. I had this and that, da-da-da-da. When's your next show? I was like, I don't know. I just I gotta get with the club and see what they say, and I'll let you know. He's like, all right, man, just, excuse me, y'all. He said, man, anytime you get a chance to figure out when you perform, even if it's at the comedy club, coffee shop, anywhere, let me know when I pop up, or I come, or I send my assistant, check you out. Yada, 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 we can move forward, do this business, XYZ, yada. All right, cool, bet. I do that, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, 19 years old, yes, sir, I'm ready. Did all that. I don't think he came to any of my shows that I can remember, besides that one, which he just so happened to be there. But nah, he didn't really come to any. I think he came to one open mic, and I didn't do good. It was terrible. I blamed it on the crowd. It was only probably like 10 people there. I felt like it wasn't nobody really there to see me. Wasn't nobody there to see nobody. They was just there to be there. But no, they was actually there to laugh, but I just didn't have nothing to make them laugh. So he saw me at one of my worst. And then in my mind, I was mad and I was like cussing like at myself and just cussing at him in my head because I'm like, man, you should have been there on this night when I did that. So he came on the worst night ever. So he was just like, it happens, he's picking me up. Like I said, I'm 19 years old. I'm upset. I ain't saying I'm upset, but you can kind of sense that I'm upset. Like I said, I'm 19 years old, man. And I got an agent who's talking all this good stuff to me, man. And I'm like, bright-eyed, like, oh, man. And then I just had a bad night. He ain't gonna want to work with me. So I'm down, talked about it. That was that. I ain't hear from this man in like maybe some weeks, maybe some months. Can't really recall. It was a long time in between that gap. Yeah, it was like some months because I remember I called him, I think, and then I didn't hear from him. Didn't hear from him. Usually he'll call me back. He ain't call me back. So now in my mind, 19-year-olds, I'm like, man, it's over. He don't want to work with me, man. He seen that first. He seen my first show. It was good. He came. He didn't come to the best performance I had. And then he comes to this rinky dink when it was like 10 people. Man, he didn't. He canceled me before I can even get started. Get together. I'm sorry. I'm like, he canceled me before I can get started. Doing open mics. Run into another guy. This guy's not under the influence. He's just an older guy. He's like, man, you funny, you young. I need young talent. I'm like, are you a promoter? Are you an agent? He said, nah, man, I'm a comedian, but I put my own shows together too. And I put big shows, man, and I sell out every time. Woo. He's giving me the whole rundown. 19. I'm excited. You telling me you put these shows together in my mind, man, I'm about to be performing in front of 50 to 100 to 150 people. Easy. Nothing. I'm really about ready to go. I'm about to give them my best performance because I'm about ready to perform in front of a bigger crowd. Nope. Talk to him. We did some shows, but after I talked to him, it just didn't. It fell by the wayside. It didn't work. It didn't work for a few reasons. One, the venues and my age. 19. This guy was older. This guy was an older gentleman. I'm 19 years old. It's hard to let me in a club to perform at any bar. Comedy clubs is different. I don't know how they can get away with that, but bars or anything else, totally different. I have to have a chaperone. So if I'm going to perform in somebody's club, somebody's bar, I have to have somebody that's over the age of 21. It's walk me from the entrance to the back and watch me the whole night. Because if something goes wrong or something happens and they find out that I'm 19 of not under, I'm in trouble, and the person who did it's in trouble, and the club and all that can get a fine. I know all about that. I heard about that, after the fact. When I was 19, why they did how they did me, like pretty much just tucked me off in the back and had me like closed in the back. Nobody can go back there with me because I was underage. So, but that's what happened with the older gentleman. We'll get to that too. But the other guy, haven't heard from him. Like I said, now I'm about ready to do this. Trying to figure out how to do this show with this guy. The older guy. Now the guy hits me back. He's calling me. Yeah, I got this and that. Da, 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 da. I'm like, all right, cool. He was like, can you make it out here? Some other little shows I couldn't make it to. But I'm like, all right, we'll get there. He was like, all right, you can't make it to the show, that's fine. How about we do this, do that. I was like, I don't know if I can make it to these shows either. He was like, well, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to keep you in the loop. You're 19. When will you turn 20? I was like, in July. He was like, well, let me see what I can do and see if I can get you in some spots that's kind of close, not too far, and can let you perform with you being 19. Hey, y'all. It's been 2 hours. It's April 2nd, Tuesday, 6:18. I ain't gonna lie. I've been talking to y'all for 2 hours, and I ain't even close to talking about everything. But y'all make sure y'all check out the Ultimate 10. It's gonna be a dope page. It's gonna be pretty dope, pretty nice. But right now, I'm gonna have to just wrap this one up, and then we're gonna have to come back, and I'm gonna do some other videos for it. But right now, just go ahead and wrap this one up, do some stuff, and I'll get back with y'all, man. I just had to get that off. Just tell y'all a little bit about me and why I'm doing this YouTube stuff, and just talk about how I love comedy and everything. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get back with y'all. But yeah, it's just, I ain't even really sleepy, but I'm gonna get back with y'all. I just don't want to keep on talking y'all heads off, so I just said that, and we'll be back. I'm gonna make some more videos, and I'm gonna pick up on the end of this. So I need to pick up where I finally work with the agent, because like I said, I was 19 when I worked. Well, I was 19 when I was supposed to work with him, and it is what it is. But I'm gonna pick up what happens with I'm gonna pick up what happens when I was when I finally got a chance to supposed to work with them. I pick up with that, and fill y'all in. But that's what I need to pick up with. I need to pick up at that point where I got with him and I was supposed to perform with him, but you know, it is what it is. So that's why I'm gonna pick up at next time, and you know, we're gonna talk into that, and then we're gonna go from there to the other older gentleman who wanted me to perform with him. So yo, thank y'all. Like I said, it's check out the Ultimate 10. We'll be back. Hopefully we gonna get some more good content. We gonna have a nice little pretty good channel. So make sure y'all check it out. Like I said, it's April 2nd, almost 6:30. Let me get up out of here. Got off at 4 o'clock and I've been talking to y'all for this long. Let's go.